Okay. Skip the intro. So, this episode was awesome. This is exactly what I want to see in Pokemon Journeys. This is what I want to see in arcs in Pokemon Journeys. In fact, can we just get rid of the episodic format of Pokemon Journeys and just do this from now on? Just do arcs like this from now on because, yeah, this was great. This was great material. I know I'm gushing about this episode, but yeah, I mean, some of the build-up towards this arc could have been a little better, but this is a solid start to this arc. And I'm hoping it continues to deliver, and it looks like the next episode is going to be good as well. So, I am pretty satisfied with this arc so far, at least one episode in. I just hope it continues to be good for the next 3 episodes. But anyways, what's up everyone, this is Mitchell Mander here. So I'm going to be reviewing Pokemon Journeys episode 42 today. An episode that basically completely makes me forget about last week's episode, because compared to that, it's like night and day from last week's episode to this week's episode, because yeah, this is where it's at. Yeah, I'm totally gushing about this episode already, so we're definitely premiering this video, so hopefully you're joining for the premiere. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and do all that stuff, because I cover this series on a weekly basis or whenever the episodes come out. So let's get on to that review, shall we? So the Sword and Shield arc begins with Chairman Rose, the leader and president of Macrocosmos, and his secretary Orleana. They're going to check up on good old Eternatus over here, which I'm wondering how they captured this Pokemon, because wasn't it roaming before? Okay, whatever. Anyways, so things get a little unstable and particles start shooting out all over the Galar region. And then shenanigans happen because, just like in the games, Pokemon just start randomly Dynamaxing and Rampaging. I like how they're actually showing this, because in the games it was kind of unseen and behind the scenes, and it was later revealed what was going on. So I like the fact that the anime is showing this. Meanwhile, Ash and Go, they're hanging out at the Sock-Rocky Labs. It's just a normal night for them. They're playing rock, paper, scissors, they're about to go to bed. And that's when Ash's Dynamax band actually starts glowing out of nowhere. They bring it up to the professor the next day, so they get into a conversation about Dynamaxing and kind of how it works. And they're told that, yeah, Dynamaxing only takes place in the wild area or in stadiums, but the assistants bring up that, yeah, this is actually occurring more frequently in other areas for some reason. So the professor sends Ash and Go, since they're research fellows, off to the Galar region to go investigate this phenomenon, learn about Dynamaxing, and what's causing this issue that's going on in the Galar region. So he sends them to meet a colleague of his, Professor Magnolia. So Ash and Go, they're on a train going to meet the professor, and they're just hanging out, they're chilling, they're eating some scones, everything seems normal. That's when the train comes to a sudden stop, so they're wondering what's going on, and that's when a Bunnelby shows up and steals some of the scones. So Go, being Go, he wants to catch this Pokemon, and Ash follows him. They find out that they're heading into the Slumbering Weald, so the two boys head in. Ash and Go unfortunately get separated when they're in the Slumbering Weald. Go manages to capture Bunnelby, however a thick fog surrounds them as they try to call each other's names out. And they end up running into the two legendary doggos. Ash runs into the Sword Doggo, Go runs into the Shield Doggo, which attacks them, however they manage to dodge, and they try to attack this Pokemon, well at least Ash does. It does no damage. Go tries to capture the Shield Doggo, it fails, and the fog gets thicker, and the two boys end up passing out, kind of like in the games. Now Go wakes up and he wonders where he's at, because he seemingly forgot what was going on, and then remembers and tries calling Ash and is unfortunately able to reach him. And that's when he hears the train, and then it turns out the train is taken off without them. Fortunately for Go, Sonia just happens to show up, as the particles from Eternatus are showing up and flying around everywhere, and she sees what's going on. But coincidentally, she's right by Go, and the two recognize each other. Meanwhile, Ash wakes up and he's wondering what's going on, and he notices the particles shooting around everywhere. And then the scene skips to this guy and his daughter, and their Pokemon, which is a Centiskorch. And bonus points if you know which town this is. It looks like it's one of the earlier towns in Sword and Shield. But anyways, they're hanging out, they're having a good time, just a normal day. And that's when the Centiskorch actually gets hit with the particle, and it causes it to Gigantamax. Or Dynamax, whatever. But anyways, it literally starts rampaging, and it destroys this building right by this little girl. And she's freaking out. She's like, what's going on? Why is my Pokemon, my gentle Pokemon, just going crazy and destroying the town? Ash shows up, and he tries to take out this Gigantamax Pokemon. Meanwhile, we have Chairman Rose and Orleana. They're talking about how the particles are hitting other Pokemon that cause them to rampage. And Chairman Rose, being the great and swell dude he is, totally a cool guy over here. He's like, yep, there's going to be some casualties, but it's all for the greater good of Galar. So yeah, I mean, Galar's not going to be affected for 1,000 years or whatever. But yeah, let's just cause some people to die as a result of this. Good logic, buddy. Good logic. You are the president of Macros Cosmos, and that's some good logic there. So Ash faces off against the Gigantamax Centiskorch, and he uses Pikachu and Riolu first, in which Pikachu uses Electroweb, and he has Riolu use Vacuum Wave to try and stop this Pokemon, and it doesn't work. So, plan B is to bring out Dragonite, and Pikachu and Riolu use the same moves, but Dragonite uses Hurricane. They manage to stop one of its attacks, but then it literally goes to use a powerful attack, and it looks like it's literally about to nuke the entire town. It already destroyed a good portion of the town, but it looks like it's about to destroy the rest of it. And excuse my language here, but Ash literally has this oh shit look on his face. He's terrified. He's like, yeah, this is kind of bad. And he's about to run away. Ash is literally about to get blown to bits. And that's when Leon comes around and saves the day. He takes out the Pokemon, manages to calm it down, and bring it back to normal, and it's like, whoa. What did I just do? What's going on? And the little girl gets her Pokemon back. So, yay! Leon saved the day. So everyone's super excited, and I like how Leon is acting here. He's like, isn't that, what a champion should do? And pretty cool, Leon. You're a cool dude. Anyways, Ash wants to help out, because there's other Pokemon out there that are rampaging. And Leon, at first, he's like, no, I'm going to handle this. But then he looks at Ash and he sees how determined he is. He's like, alright, come with me. So Ash gets on Dragonite to go with Leon to face off against the Gigantamax and Dynamax Pokemon. So as Ash and Leon are going to the next rampaging Pokemon to settle it down, Ash ends up getting a call from Go, who's actually with Sonia, heading off to investigate some ruins in Turffield. And Go calls him, he's like, hey, why didn't you answer your call earlier? But anyways, remember that girl that we met back in episode 27? Well, guess what? I'm hanging out with her. We're heading off to do some investigating. What's going on with Dynamax and that whole legend she was talking about. Yeah, we're doing some research on that. And Ash is like, yeah, well, you're doing that. Me and Leon are hanging out. We're going to take out some Dynamax and Gigantamaxing Pokemon. Calm them down. Save the people of the Galar region. So, the episode has pretty much come to an end here. But as the episode closes with Sonia and Go heading off to Turffield, it looks like they're being tailed by somebody. So, yeah. Also, Sonia seems to be quite the reckless driver, who seems to be scaring Go with her driving, but, yeah. So, again, they're being tailed by someone, so, we'll see what happens in the next episode. Okay, so, despite the fact that this arc had very little build-up, I will say for the first episode of this arc, for setting up everything that's going to be going on in the next few episodes, I think this episode did a very solid job. I think it was very well done. It was very well paced. The writing was on point. And I like the fact that the anime is showing a lot of the stuff that we're kind of wondering what was going on in the games. What was going on behind the scenes with Chairman Rose and Orleana. I think that's pretty cool. You're going to get to see in the next episode a different side of Chairman Rose, where he's like, how he's like in the games, where he's like meeting the protagonist and being, all happy-go-lucky. But behind the scenes, the guy is a little bit different. So, I like what we're seeing here. I like what they did with that. I'm hoping we get more of that in the next couple of episodes. But the one thing that I like about what's going on here is, again, I mentioned this when this arc got announced, but I love the idea that Ash and Go are separated. So Go's with Sonya and Ash was with Leon, and they're doing two different things. We have Ash basically trying to save the people with Leon. We have Go and Sonya doing research, trying to figure out what's causing all this, what's going on, doing more information and digging on the legend of the hero with the sword and shield. So I love that they're doing this. And again, it's kind of strange because besides obviously different protagonists and different circumstances, a lot of the stuff regarding the game events is it's actually pretty faithful to what's going on, to be honest. So it seems like compared to like previous parts in the anime, it seems to be more faithfully adapting parts from the game compared to other anime arcs around the game storylines. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. Also, I'd like to mention that Dragonite is finally getting the screen time it deserves, because it's been absent for a little while, besides some cameo appearances here and there. But to see it finally back in action is refreshing. So let's get Gengar back in action in the next episode or two, and maybe Galarian Farfetch. That would be pretty cool, because they haven't had a lot of screen time lately. Or I know Galarian Farfetch had it took its L in episode 34, but that's been a little bit since then now. So I kind of want to see these guys in action in this arc. So if it gives me hope that since we saw Dragonite in this episode, we're going to see the others, and they're going to be also facing off against the Gigantamax and Dynamaxing Pokemon. So fingers crossed. I know that Riolu and Raboot are most likely going to evolve at some point during this arc, but I still want these Pokemon to get focused, so I'm hoping that they get treated fairly this arc. I just wanted to put that out there. So that's pretty much all I got for this episode review. So a very solid setup episode for the rest of the episodes of this arc. So as of right now, I'm going to give this episode a 9 out of 10. And this could go up or down depending on how the rest of this arc goes. And I hope it delivers. Because in the past, there have been past Pokemon arcs that have had a solid start, but then the ending, it just doesn't deliver. AKA the Necrozma arc. But, so I'm hoping this ends up being a solid arc. So this first episode could go up or down depending on how the rest of the arc goes. Because we could have a good setup, but if it doesn't deliver, then in the end, what was the point, you know? So as of right now, 9 out of 10 episode, solid start to this arc. What do you guys think? Do you love this episode? Do you hate this episode? What are your overall thoughts about this arc so far? Post your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And I'll talk to you all later. You all stay safe out there, and have a good night or day wherever you're at. See ya.